You have said repeatedly yourself since the election, the president has said for months, no pardon was coming. I wanted to ask you, could those statements now be seen as lies from the American people? Is there really a credibility issue here given now this announcement?
First of all, one of the things that the president always believes is to be truthful to the American people. That is something that he always truly believes. And if you see the end of his, I assume that you've read his statement, and you look at the end of that statement, and he actually says that in the first line in the last paragraph, and respects the thinking and how the American people will actually see this in his decision making. And I would encourage everyone to read in full the president's statement. I think he lays out his thought process. He lays out how he came to this decision. He came to this decision this weekend. So let's be very clear about that. He says it himself. It's in his voice. He said he came to this decision this weekend. And he said he wrestled with this. And because he believes in the justice system, but he also believes that the war politics infected the process and led to a miscarriage of justice. This is his words. I'm just repeating what the president said. He also said that no reasonable person, if you are looking at this in a good faith way, if you are looking at the facts of Hunter's cases and you can't reach any other conclusion, right? And what we have seen, and not just us, there's other people who have commented on the president's actions in the last 24 hours. I've lost track of time, and could see that Hunter was singled out. And because his last name was Biden, because he was the president's son, that's what we saw. And so the president believed enough is enough, and the president took action. And he also believes that they tried to break his son in order to break him. That's what we saw. And this, again, I am just repeating what the president said. I think the statement in full really lays out his thought process. He said that he came to this decision this weekend, and he wrestled with it. It wasn't an easy decision to make.
Just real quick on that. The two of them were together this weekend. Did the president and Hunter discuss this possibility? Did they talk about this happening?
So what I can say is he made this decision this weekend. He made it himself. I don't have anything else to discuss beyond that.
I don't know if he's talking about Hunter.
I just don't have anything to discuss. I've been pretty consistent in not talking about private conversations that he's had with his family. I just don't have anything to say. Besides, the president made this decision this weekend, as he said in his statement, and he made this decision himself. Once he made this decision, he shared it with his senior staff. Go ahead.
The reasons he laid out in his statement, if we assume those to be correct, that's been correct. Those are not changes that occurred this weekend. So what changed his mind this weekend?
Again, it's in his statement. He wrestled with it. He thought about it, and he believed, and what he saw was that his son was singled out. And so he made this decision, and once he made the decision, which was this weekend, he decided to move forward with it and not to wait. I think he truly believed enough is enough. This is we have seen in the last 5 years or so the president's political opponents say this. This is not the president saying it. They said it themselves. They were going after Hunter Biden. And so he made this decision.
So, Karine, when the president says that the justice system is infected with politics, how deep is the rot? And how much of the blame does the president take on himself for the fact that his own Justice Department, his appointees, have allowed it to get this bad?
And I'm going to get to your answers, but I do want to just share a couple of things from, for example, former Attorney General Eric Holder said, no U.S. attorney would have charged this case given the underlying facts. After a 5-year investigation, the facts as discovered only made that clear. Had his name been Joe Smith, the resolution would have been fundamentally and more fairly a declination, pardon warranted. Former U.S. Attorney to the Eastern District of Michigan, Robert McQuaid, said, "Pardon of Hunter Biden is the best interest of justice. Based on the facts, most federal prosecutors would have declined to charge him. The botched misdemeanor guilty plea and sentence of the diversion were a tell that the special counsel had the same assessment." One more. Former Deputy Chief of the Criminal Division, Southern District of New York, said, "As SDNY Criminal Division Deputy Chief, I was responsible for approving charges and non-prosecution requests. I wouldn't have approved Hunter Biden's tax or gun cases if Hunter's last name wasn't Biden. I don't believe he would have been charged. His pardon is justified." And the president says it. I'm going to pull out his statement. To your question, and this plays into what I just read with the SDNY Deputy Chief, which is, look, there was a deal on the table, a carefully negotiated plea deal agreed to by the Department of Justice, unraveled in the courtroom with a number, this is the president's voice, with a number of my political opponents in Congress